Salutations gamers, I'm the OgichiGame and welcome back to the animation tutorial series. Today I want to talk about something I like to call time versus quality, or time versus quality management. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, it is kind of self-explanatory. But if you are a professional artist or you're a beginner or whatever, something that you'll notice as you get better and better is you're going to run into a problem more and more, or at least I find that you do, a problem I call quality versus time management. You see, if you're, depending on what kind of art you do, or how much art you need to make, or maybe you're working for multiple people, or maybe you're working for one, or whatever, maybe you're working on animation and stuff like that, maybe you're with a group of animators, or maybe you're by yourself. No matter what the situation is, you're going to run into the issue of time versus quality management. Now, to put this in very simple terms, layman's terms, the longer you take, the higher the quality should be. So if you take more time, the quality will be higher. But the less time you spend on it, the quality will be lower. But the issue is you don't always have the time to make things look perfect. Now, you can have things look very realistic, and that would take a lot of time, or you can have them look a lot less realistic, a lot more cartoony, and in doing that, you would have saved a lot of time, and you can make a lot more images, obviously. And this is something that every artist, animator, anything, really needs to consider whenever they're starting a project, the time versus quality management. How much time do I have to work on this project? If you're working on an animation, obviously you can't make things look super realistic, otherwise you're going to have to spend a lot of time. Let's say you're on... even if you're working in a group, say, if an animation in a group, you all have different scenes to make, the higher the quality that the animation is in terms of just the way that it looks, if it looks more realistic than not, if it looks a lot more realistic instead of cartoony, depending on just how much detail that you want to put into it. Depending on how much detail you want to put into it, really changes really changes how much time needs to go into it. And you need to, obviously, even if you are pressed for time, you don't want things to look crap. You want them to have a level of quality to them, but how do you create a level of quality that will match your time needed? Now, there are a few ways that you can go about this. Now, something that some people may ask me, I've gotten maybe at least one comment before, basically, why is it that I show off a lot of MLP-style artwork in the animation tutorial series instead of doing something that I created? Now, I could do something that I created, but one, I find that a lot of people just seem to like the My Little Pony style, like seeing animations based around My Little Pony. They request it a lot. Other than that, I find that MLP actually has a very good base for teaching animation. Now, there's something that I could probably throw together that would look even better than that, but again, people just like the My Little Pony style. They like seeing animation tutorials based around how to animate the way that they make it look and all that sort of such thing. And since it is a pretty good base for teaching animation, I find that's how I use it. Now, obviously, there are a few things that I can't teach in MLP, such as hands, like fingers and that sort of animations and such like that. And bipedal, I suppose I could teach them, but I wouldn't be able to use a pony for the base. I'd have to use something like Spike. I'd have to use like Spike or some other character or something that has hands and fingers and walks on two legs, that sort of stuff. Now, MLP also has a very interesting style. It has a good the artwork in My Little Pony. Sorry, I'm stuttering quite a lot today because well, I'm just going to move on. The artwork in My Little Pony is very interesting to me because it's simplistic. It's simplistic, and yet at the same time has a very good. It has a very nice level of quality, of a high level of quality, while being simplistic. Now, you see, if you look at the style, you should notice that it's not really a whole lot there. Technically, you have very basic shapes that represent different parts of the body. It's a bit it's a bit more than, say, what the shapes and such like that are a bit more than what you would see in something like Oop, sorry. My computer glitched there. I'm not sure if that was recording. Oh, sorry. But anyway, so the shapes you see are a bit more rounded, a bit a bit less angular or something, say, to something like Samurai Jack or whatnot. But this is actually really, it's really good because it has what I call, it's a style which can be easily replicated, but is difficult to perfect it. Because it has it's very unique in the way that it is. It's very unique in its own way. But again, yes, time versus quality. The more time that you're going to spend on something, the higher quality you can make it, but you have to remember that when you're working professionally as an artist, you're going to have to worry a lot about, hey, I'm pressed for time, so I can't I can't spend 3 hours doing this one thing when I need to spend 3 hours doing these 4 things. So you need to know, especially with animation. Now, if you're doing artwork that is where, you paint portraits or that sort of stuff, obviously you spend a lot of time making sure the quality is perfect. But with animations and some other kinds of art like graphic design or some such like that, there is a time versus quality management. And obviously, again, if you are working professionally, it'll be somewhat easier if you're doing graphic design or that sort of stuff to know where you need to put your time and your energy based on who's paying what. Unless you're working for a company, obviously. But if you're working like freelance or something, whoever's paying the most money is the highest priority, obviously. Whoever wants the best quality. If they're paying a lot for high quality, then you put a lot of quality into it. But hopefully all this makes sense. Again, just going back, time versus quality, you need to try to think, okay, how much time do I have? How much time do I have, so how much quality can I put into it? How realistic or unrealistic or cartoony or whatever should I make this that will, something that I can do that I can, do I need something that I can easily replicate, something that I can make over and over and over again quickly, or do I need something which is almost one of a kind in its style or whatever? And again, now, if you're doing something for an animation where you're pressed for time a lot, the way that I would go about it is make something very stylized. That would probably help. Make something stylized, something that matches your style. Give it a style its own. Give it a style its own and make that style prevalent throughout all of it. The whole world has that style that you created, and that should help it so, again, you have that sort of easy to replicate, difficult to perfect sort of situation where the animation, the artwork for an animation looks really well while at the same time being rather simplistic so that it can be easily replicated. Hopefully everything I've said has made sense. If it has, or whatnot, anyway, please leave a like, comment if you have any questions. Otherwise, I will see all of you in the next one. Bye-bye!